All right, we are getting after them again. Surface temperatures may even get up to the low 90s. It is summertime. I'm hunting for crappie in brush piles. Hopefully they'll be schooled up. Thanks for watching. Let's start catching some crappie. The waves from boat traffic were really big today. That's why the transducer's bouncing all over the place. It makes it tough fishing with live scope in these conditions. There's one right under the boat. First fish. It's a way to start the day. $11.5. Black crappie. First fish. First fish, number one. I was using the Wild Willeys OCD little minnow. I was also using the sassy shad. The little minnow is about 1.75 inches and the sassy shad is 2 inches. But that pearly gates was the color they were wanting. It's a pearl white with silver flecks in it. They just seem to really love it. Alright, there's my jig and weight. Coming down, fishing through some pretty heavy brush. About to get bit. There's a good one. Oh, it's a big old bass. I just realized he's out. There's a bass down there. Good Lord. Look at this little toad right here. These bass are always fun to catch. Look at that toad right there. Good night. This way, you sucker. I was hoping you'd be a crappie. I fished many bass tournaments where I would have loved to have that bass to weigh in. 3.4 something. 3.5 pounder. Let's get you way over there. We got some great Wild Willeys merchandise to give away. You're not gonna believe all the cool stuff we've got. This pile on the right goes to one winner. The pile on the left goes to another. We got the waxy sauce, which is awesome attractant. Every kind of soft plastic, from Slap Your Mama to Little Minnow to Sassy Shad in various colors and sizes. These are some of his custom jigs. All of them have high quality hooks and they're great. So to win, you have to leave a comment on today's video and you have to be subscribed, and we'll randomly choose 2 winners. We'll do the drawing for the 2 winners in the video next week. You gotta leave a comment and be subscribed to win. Hey, I added a bunch of merchandise. Some of this is custom made stuff from Wild Willeys Matt doesn't even have on the market. Look forward to giving this stuff away. Thanks for watching. About to get bit. There's one. Can't resist it. Get up here, dude. Couldn't resist Wild Willeys. Oh, easy, easy. Dang, sucker. Easy. You don't want to go for a swim in this boat. $12.5. 12.5 inch black crappie. Get in there. Number 2. This boat's bouncing all around. You can't really tell how big these waves are, but anyway, about to get bit. Right through the mix. There he is. 26 feet out there. Couldn't resist it. $11 and a half. Black crappie. 11 and a half. Hey, this is really cool. Got to meet some cool friends of mine who support the channel. It's great to see them on the water.
I'll come fishing with you.
Come on.
Are you big cat fishing Mississippi?
Yep.
We love you, Dad.
Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Watch it.
Thank you. When you're fishing this kind of heavy brush, be prepared to lose a bunch of jigs because you've got to get your jig right down in the mix. Got that one. Good Lord, man, these suckers are picky. Almost 12 and a half. Black crappie, 12 and a half. You can see the arrow. The fish had the jig in his mouth that whole time. I didn't even see it. There's one. He came out and got it. All right, now we are on to something. Put on a bright pink head. Got bit on the first cast. Look at the size of this toad. I can barely boat flip it. Goodness gracious. One thing is for sure, and that is summertime fishing can be really, really tough between the heat, the boat traffic, but keep changing colors up and experimenting to get the bites you need. 13 and a half. Black crappie. Look at that toad right there. 13 and a half inch. The boat's bouncing around so much it's really hard to keep that transducer lined up, but there's my jig and weight and you can barely see it. I'm going to drop it down on top of that structure, hopefully trigger one of these fish to bite it. There he goes. There we go. He came up and got it. Get away, little fella. There's nothing little about this dude. Look at the size of that slab, man. It's 14. Thank you very much. Check your hook and line frequently. Make sure your knot's all right. And if your hook is bent, make sure that you get it back in place. Otherwise, you can miss some fish. Another tip is make sure that your soft plastic is hanging perfectly symmetrically on your hook. One of the reasons I don't like fishing with a barb is because it makes it easier to readjust your bait without tearing it up. I'm cutting a little bit of the tail off here to make it a little more finesse. Okay, there's my jig and weight dropping down. There's a couple nice looking crappie on that branch. They look like they're pretty good size. There's my jig and weight. See if one of these dudes is gonna bite it. I'm gonna twitch it, kind of dance it around. There we go. There we go. Long. No black. Let him go. Alright, there is my jig and weight dropping down. I'm going to bring it on top of this structure, try to trigger a bite. You can see some nice looking fish on the left there. I'm going to drop it down in the mix, hopefully not get snagged. One of them's gonna get it. There we go. Got that one. Couldn't resist. Wild Willeys. Get up here, dude. It's another big one. Goodness gracious. Yeah. 14 inches. 14-inch black crop. Look at this sucker, man. It's a good one. Get in there, dude. Got to get that soft plastic lined up. They seem to be liking that pink and the white combination. There's a big brush pile with a bunch of nice looking fish. There's my jig and weight. 32 feet out. I'm gonna bring it through that mess, hopefully not get snagged up. About to get bit right there. There we go. Got it. Get up here, little dude. Get yourself a bite to eat, won't you? You ain't gonna make the cut. You're on 11 inch. Let him go. Hey, bunch of good looking stuff down there. There's my jig and weight. Bunch of nice looking crappie hanging out there. I think they're crappie. There's my jig and weight. Right above one of them, bringing it down that branch. Moving to the left. Kind of lose sight of the jig. There it is. One of them's about to get it. There we go. Got it. I let it sit right in front of him. Goodness gracious. Taker's 12 and a half. Black crappie, 12 and a half. Well, like I said earlier, when you're fishing brush like this, swimming jigs through it, be prepared to get snagged up a lot. And if you do get snagged up, probably the most important tip I can give you is don't cut your line at the water surface, because it leaves that 30-foot tag end hanging through the water, which messes up fishing for everyone else and also hurts the fish. Wrap the line around your hand a couple times and pull it straight back. And if your jig doesn't pop through, it'll break right at the knot. So don't cut your line at the water surface. Just wrap it around your hand, pull it straight to you, and it'll break right at the jig, right at the knot where you tie your jig to your line. I probably lose at least one jig every hour or two when I'm fishing this kind of heavy brush. It's the price you pay. You got to put your jig where the fish are. All right, there's my jig and weight. I'm going to bring it on top of this fish, and one of them had it in his mouth for a good 3 seconds before I realized it. You can see it. He's got it right there in his mouth for 3 seconds. There's one. Came up and got it. Couldn't resist it. Get up here, dude. So I was lucky to get that fish. A lot of times they'll spit it out as soon as they taste it. 12 and a half. Black crappie, 12 and a half inch. I didn't have another pink jig tied on, so I went to a 64th ounce trout magnet and the nickel plated, and it turns out to be a good move because they were all over it, loving it. I'm about to get bit. There's a good one. Eleven and 3/4. Black crappie, 11 and 3/4. All right, I'm gonna work over that same log There's my lure dropping down about 36 feet away. I'm gonna drag it right on top of those fish sitting on top of that log. There's my jig and weight. One of them's chasing it, about to get it. Got that one. It's way out there. Anytime I catch a crappie over 14 inches, almost every time I let them go, unless I'm really needing fish for the freezer. 14.5 inches. 14.5 inch black crappie. Look at that mug. I'm gonna let him go. That was a perfect breeder size crappie, so I let it go. There's my jig and weight coming down. I'm gonna do the same old thing. Bring it on top of that brush and hopefully one of them will eat it without getting snagged up. All right, you can barely see the jig and weight right above the branch there. One of them's about to get it. There, got that one. Might be a bass. Oh, that's a crappie. Get up here, dude. $13-inch black crappie. 13 inches, yes. Okay, there's my jig and weight. As soon as it gets down there, one of them's about to hit it right there. Get up here, dude. $13-inch black crappie. 13 inches, yes. It's 14. When you're fishing this kind of stuff, if you lose track of your jig on your screen, but you know you're in the strike zone, keep reeling it and twitching it, because you'll catch a lot of fish doing that. I like to catch fish when it's visible on the screen so I can make a good video. But if you're just out there fishing, you just got to put it in the right spot, twitch it, and they're gonna eat it. Like right there. Got that one. Couldn't even see him get it. Right on top of that limb. Solid 11.5-inch black crappie. Yeah, man. I didn't have my active captain for these last two fish, but look at how beautiful that sunset is. It is incredible. That's a good one. Didn't even see him hit it. Get up here, big stud. Another 14-inch. Nice black crappie. Look at that stud. Get up there. Looking at a sunset like this, it's hard to believe that there's not a creator. It's majestic. There we go. Got that, dude. Anytime you can get out in the great outdoors and go fishing is a true blessing. Gives you a sense of gratitude. I'm glad to be alive and grateful for it. $13-incher. Look at that dude right there. Nice. Last fish of the day right there. Man, would you look at that sunset? Good Lord. Man, that is nice. here's the setup. This is a 64th ounce crappie magnet jig head, and this is Wild Willeys pearly gates. They were wearing it out. 1/8 ounce slip sinker pegged. Ugly stick, carbon crappie 10-foot rod, awesome backbone, sensitive, very light. The reel seat is phenomenal. Daiwa Fuego 2500 series. This is 10-pound test monofilament. This rod is awesome, less expensive than the crappie sticks. I love crappie sticks, but I really believe this is a much better rod. And I like the way it looks too. Ended up with 16 altogether. Let go a couple of the big ones. Nice day. Look at that slab well. That's what I'm talking about. Put these dudes on ice, clean them in the morning.